Yo, what's happening, y'all? Hope everybody doing well. Hey, yo, I remember one time I made a crazy ass decision that changed my life forever. I'm gonna tell you about the day I killed my brother. Worst day of my life. What are you talking about? The day you killed your brother. I was like 15 years old, ripping and running the streets. Crazy. I ain't down North Philly no more. I'm uptown now. My grandma friend gifted her a house. You imagine that? My grandma friend gave her a house. This is how we moved from North Philly to Uptown, Somerville. My grandma friend had a sister. She was blind and deaf. And I guess she couldn't continue to care for her sister how she would have liked to, because she was older too herself. So I think she put her sister in hospice or something like that. I forget the whole story. But nevertheless, she called my grandma and told my grandma, you can have this house. Little small, modest 2 bedroom uptown. Only thing my grandma had to do was get the deeds in her name, and it cost her like 500 to do that, or something like that. So she pretty much got the house for like 500. But anyway, this is how we got uptown. But I remember one time coming to the house, and my grandma and my brother in there. My brother, he up in the upstairs in the room listening to some music. He's listening to Nirvana, to be exact. He one got me into like the grunge scene back in the day, Nirvana, Pearl Jam, Stone Temple Pilots, all those old school bands, Green Day and all of them. So he's up there listening to Nirvana. He just up in the room chilling. So he say to me, he said, yo, you still got that fire? This is my older brother. He got me by like a year and a half. He was 17. I was 15. I said, yeah, I still got it. Wow, what's up? He said, I need to hold that joint. My brother, he was like a nerd, book smart, super book smart. I remember he used to have so many goddamn books in his book bag. The straps used to always break. So he was on them books. He was smart as hell. My bad ass, I'm ripping and running in the streets. I'm getting it firsthand, right? So he's like, you still got that? You still got that gun? I said, yeah, bro, what's up? He said, I need to hold that on. So by him being so scary, I'm thinking, oh shit, big bro about to take care of some business, I guess. You know what I'm saying? He tired of playing with these cats out here. He didn't got robbed before with the crazy, yo, what time is it type lines. He looked down to watch, look up, John in his face, robbing him. He used to fall for the okie dokes all the time. He used to get treated out there in the world because he wasn't out in the mix and know these type of things, right? So I said, yeah, I got the John. Why? What's up? I need to hold that John. I said, okay, cool. I got you, right? I said, let me borrow a dub off you. He's like, yeah, I got you. I got 20. He gave me $20, right? I said, look, I gotta go to my man crib because I had just got the piece, right? I ain't even had no Jones for it, but I had got my buddy's brother to grab me some when he went to the shop. So he grabbed me a whole joint. I just hadn't picked them up yet. I had a whole box. So I asked him, I said, I said, how many you need? I had a 6 round joint, revolver, 357, the Husky joint, dumb joint. I said, how many you need? He was like, 3. I said, 3? That's you don't want the whole 6? He's like, no, just 3. So I thought that was kind of weird. I'm like, damn, the average person would be like, what I mean, give me a handful of them Jones, or at least give me the whole 6. He was like 3. So my young ass, I'm thinking like, I hope this dude ain't on no crazy shit. Cause he ain't, my brother was always real quiet and reserved, so it was kind of hard to you know what I mean, judge his mood, kind of, sort of. But I wasn't seeing no direct signs like anything was wrong. Like, he was real calm about asking me for it, and it's the first time he ever asked me for it. And so I was like, all right, I got you. I'm blocking all the crazy stuff. I'm like, I'm tripping. I'm sitting here thinking it's okay. My folks ain't into no crazy shit. We ain't, I'm tripping. I do need that dub, though, young boy. So I get with my man. I get the box, right? And I gave him 3 joints. But I ain't gonna lie, in the back of my mind, I'm like, damn, yo, you want some other shit? Because it wasn't number 3 of us standing in the house, me, him, and my grandma, right? So I was like, I'll be. Then I'm like, no, I'm tripping. I'm sitting there thinking of the words, right? He ain't into no shit like that. So I give him the 3 joints. I said, bro, you know, use the joint, right? You know what I mean? Simple. Just push this button right here. This joint gonna drop out. You drop the joint down in there. Boom, and that joint be ready. It's real simple. He's like, all right, all right. I said, look, I gotta make a run. I'll be, I'll be, I'll be back in a little bit. All right. So I leave. I'm young and I'm curious, right? My buddy in school, Rich, he had just told me he had some PCP. My young ass want to try PCP. I've been hearing about it, dust. I'm like, don't ask me why. I don't know. I was young and dumb. So I leave the house. I'm looking for Rich because he had just told me I want to try this PCP. I want to see what this wet hitting for, right? This is a true story. Of course, you can't make no story like this up. So I find Rich. Boom, I grab a couple joints. I think I got like 2 bags off. A little 10 ball on. Then when they got me some weed, I had plans on smoking me a love boat. So I get the shit from Rich. I go around the corner to my buddy's house, which is like at the other end of my street. I'm just down at the other end on another block. I'm on Godfrey Avenue. My man Kells and a couple other homies. We chilling. So as we sitting here talking, mind you, I still got the shit in my pocket. I ain't even smoking. I'm kind of nervous, but you know what I'm saying? I just secured what I was looking for. So as we sitting there talking, you hear cops. I hear cops in the distance. And the sirens are getting closer. Like, what I mean, getting louder. So they getting in it. And the next thing you know, you look up and you can see the cop car coming our way, coming down Godfrey Avenue, hitting straight towards us at a high rate of speed. Excuse me. At a high rate of speed. As I'm watching the cop cars come towards, I'm like, damn. To myself, I'm like, yo, when they gonna turn? Like, they just coming straight for us. And they get right to where we at, and they turn down my street. They turned down my street the wrong way. My street was a one way. They went down my street the wrong way. So I'm like, what the hell? They going down there for my block. But kind of like in my spirit, I felt something was wrong, right? So I was kind of nervous. So I went around to the other block. I'm on the next block over from my street now. I walk around, a couple guys, they always hanging out there on the corners, doing what they do. So I asked the older guys, hey, yo. I say, yo, did y'all hear any shots or anything? Like come from over that way, over there by Norwood? It was like, we ain't hear no shot or nothing like that, no shots. I was like, oh, all right, all right, all right. So now I'm around. I walk to the corner of my block. Now I'm at the other end of my block. I was just around down this street and around here at the end of my block. Now I went up this street and I'm at the very top of my block. I'm at the corner. My house is only like 4 houses from that corner, so I'm looking. And sure enough, the cops is at my house. First thing I say to myself, what this nigga done did? That's what I said. I'll never forget this shit. I said, what this nigga done did, man? So I go back around where I was originally at with my homies, and I'm nervous now because I don't know what's going on, but I know it's at my house. And I know ain't nobody in there but my brother and my grandma. And I know I just gave that fool that fire. So I go back around to my homies, and I'm like, yo, I said, yo, can y'all walk me home, man? I don't know what's going on. And Miles was, yo, can y'all walk me to my house, bro? And he was like, yeah, man, sweet. I mean, we'll walk with you. So they walked me down the street to my crib. So when I get in the crib, there's cops all in the house and shit. I never forget one cop. He had a picture of some guy, like a fugitive. He showed me his picture. Like, hey, you seen this guy? And I'm like, man, hell no. Who the hell is that? Get out of here. I said, yo, what's going on here? I said, yo, where my brother at? So I tried to go upstairs. I tried to go up the steps, right? And the cop's like, no, you can't go up there. I was like, what you mean? He said, no, you can't go up there. I said, man, what's going on? What happened? He said, just relax, have a seat. We'll get to you. So they wouldn't let me upstairs and shit. And this is all this commotion. Cops is all in and out the house, right? So I'm sitting down there in the living room and I see one cop. He come down the steps and he got the fire in his hand and it had like a tag or something like dangling from it. And he's holding it and it had like a tag on it. So I'm like, damn, that's the joint right there. I said, what the hell he do though? So the cop got the piece and he just kept going out the crib. My grandma's in the dining room on the phone with my uncle. My uncle was like one of the few people that knew I had that fire, right? He was trying to buy it off me. And I was like, no, I ain't selling my joint, right? But he knew I had that fire. So he's asking my grandma, like, what did it look like? And this and that and that and that. And she described it because she saw it too when the cop came down with it. And she described it to my uncle. He was like, that was Mike's. I'm like, damn. Because I'm nervous. I'm thinking I'm going to jail because of what happened. So my grandma on the phone, mind you, there's all these cops in the house and shit. My grandma on the phone with him. She's like, Mike, what your uncle said that was your piece. So I'm like, no, it wasn't. I'm denying it, right? Because I'm nervous. I'm a young boy. I'm like, I'm going to jail. I'm like, no, it wasn't. I ain't know what you talking about. You tripping. Because the cops is asking me about it and shit. I'm like, I don't know. I'm like, I don't know. I'm scared. I think I'm going to jail. And she was like, that was you. Your uncle said that was yours. So the cops, they hearing this. So the one cop, when she said this and I'm denying it, now I'm looking crazy, right? It's looking crazy. I know from the outside looking, it's probably looking crazy to people because I'm like, I'm denying the piece was mine. So the cop was like, listen, son, you, you're not going to go to jail. We just want to know where the fire came from. He said, you're not going to go to jail. This was an unaliving moment. This is when I knew what happened. My brother done took his life upstairs, right, in the bathroom. So I was just like, you know what the hell? I told the cop. I was like, yo, I ain't gonna lie. I said, yo, that was mine. I let him hold it. I said, but I didn't know he was gonna do that. I'm thinking, like I told you, I thought he was ready to handle some street shit. He was tired of getting bullied around and all that. So, it's my older brother. I ain't gonna deny him nothing, right? But I didn't know he was gonna do that. So I know people's looking at me like something fishy, right? And whatnot. I can't clean about it being mine. And I told him where I got it from. I never forget that. I got that. I was skating. I used to skateboard back in the day. I was skating. Long story short, kid came up. Hold on, y'all. I gotta end this video. It's an important call. It might be an interview. I'll get back with y'all. Part 2. Stand by. Yeah, I got that call, y'all. It's another interview I got for tomorrow. But anyway, I'm gonna get back to this story. And if I am mistaken, I ended off on me telling the cops where I got the gun. And like I was saying, I was skating and the kid came up. Long story short, I gassed him up like I was gonna do something else with the joint. I got it in my hand and I just skated off with it and went home. I just literally just took it off a guy, right? Wild shit. I know I was wild. So I took it from this guy and went home. So this is what I tell the cops. And to be honest with you, that was kind of like the end of it. Like, because the way shit happened, what he did, that's how it went. So I'm still wondering, like, what the hell happened? So here, after everything settled down a little bit, my grandma said she said she was sitting downstairs in the dining room. I think she said she was on the phone. She said she was sitting there and she heard a loud boom, right? So she said she started calling for my brother because she knew I wasn't in the house. So she started calling his name. She said she never answered. She said he never answered. So she said she got up and went up the top of the steps. The way the house is set up, as soon as you get to the top of the steps, like directly in front of you, the top of the steps was the bathroom. She said she get to the top of the steps, the bathroom door's closed, but she noticed it was blood coming from under the door. She said she went back downstairs, called the laws, right? And that was the gist of it. So he ended up getting in the tub, fully clothed, no water, just laid in the tub and went to the other side, right? So I'm going through it now because I'm feeling guilty. I'm feeling like I took my brother away from here, right? I'm feeling bad about it, extremely bad. I'm really, I'm young. I'm like, I'm going through it. I start really like acting up, cutting up, right? Because I ain't, what I mean? Wasn't nobody really to talk to about it for real, for real. So I kind of like Danny had to go through it by myself and figure stuff out, right? But it was just one of those defining moments in my life that forever changed my life. Until this day, I deal with that to this day. I'm well into my 40s now. And over the years, I always ask myself, I was like, yo, I was the wild one out there in them streets acting crazy. You know what I'm saying? Doing crazy shit, running around. Just Philly on Philly time, right? And here it is, my brother, he was the good guy. Straight A student, book bag about to bust off his back and so many books in that joint. He had 2 jobs. He was working at KFC at the time, and he was working at Boston Chicken at 17. So he was well on his way, right? And for him to go out like he did, it make you question yourself like, damn. Because I know, like, my brother, without a doubt, was one of the good guys in this world. And I'm like, damn, it's like damn near true. Like the good guys finish last. Or how they say it, the good die young. That's what they say. The good die young. Right? And I think to this day, some of my family, I think to this day, deep down, I think they think that I knew what he was going to do to himself. Like, come on, you serious? Like, you think I would have let my brother, if I known that he was going to do some crazy stuff like that I would have went along with that? Even for the $20, it wasn't that serious at all. Wasn't that serious at all. But I think some of them think that I knew what he was going to do. Right? See, my grandma had me. My grandma had me since I was 14 months old. My mom gave me up at 14 months old. We went and got my brother from my mom. She got custody of him too. We went and got him when he was 7. So my brother had all them years with my mom and my other side of the family. This grandma that I'm with is my dad's mom. So we went and got my brother when he was 7. And one thing that stuck out with me that night that I think burnt a crazy stain in my brain, I never forget this. Because like I said, my mom and them side had 7 years with my brother. So when all of them was coming to my grandma's house the night that this happened, everybody's pulling up, screaming, crying. And I never forget one of my aunts, what she said. And I couldn't fucking believe it. I don't believe it to this day. Because how could you say that, though? And I was standing right there. But when she pulled up, First thing one of my aunts say, she say, I hear her say, "No, it ain't him. You sure it ain't Mike?" Meaning me. I'm sitting there like, wait a minute, hell no, it ain't me. Like, not that I wanted it to be my bro either, but it's like they wanted it to be me that was gone. This is the vibe I got from the comment that was made. I'm like, damn, what you mean? You sure it ain't me? Hell no, it ain't me. I'm standing. You see me standing right here? So I'll never forget that. That kind of rubbed me the wrong way. Like, but I get it because they had more time with him. But I really don't get it. But I can understand. You know what I'm saying? So that was kind of trippy to me when I heard that statement. But without a doubt, that was one of the defining moments that forever changed my life. I'll never be the same as long as I'm alive. That was my only brother, right? And the fact that he's going is kind of crazy. I actually named my daughter in remembrance of my brother, right? Trying to kind of keep his memory alive. And I'm like, dang, I was 15 and a half. Here I am about to be 50. That was a long time ago. And I always thought to myself, like, what would make someone want to go out like that? Like, what did he really have going on that was that bad? I mean, you getting ready to graduate high school. You smart as hell. You already got two jobs. You know, Graham used to be on her ass. Like sometimes her mouth would be a little loose and foul, right? With some of the things that she would say, and the way that she would say it. And if you wasn't strong minded, I guess like me, because I used to block stuff out, like yeah, whatever, type. Because I was, you know, what I mean, I was one of those little rebellious dudes. But I think my brother, a lot of stuff she said to him, he took it to heart. And with some of the things she said to him, one would take it to heart because it's like I mean, she would say stuff like, I mean, you acting like you stupid or being dumb or something crazy as far as with smarts and things like that. And I'm thinking to myself, like, my grandma, you never graduated school or none of that. You never drove a car or nothing. So how are you sitting here calling my brother stupid and smart, you know what I mean, and dumb, and he bringing home straight A's? That'll fuck with you, right? When you in them books and you doing what you're supposed to, but yeah, somebody's belittling you like you're not like that. So I found that weird. I used to always defend my brother a lot because he, like I said, he was soft, man. He was soft as drugstore cotton, the stuff that be in your pill bottles. So he like wouldn't speak up for himself. Now my bad ass, I used to be talking back like, yo, why you talking to him like that? Why you saying that? He ain't nothing slow. It's almost like she was jealous of his achievements. Kinda. That's the vibes I was getting. Sounds crazy, but hey, I'm gonna tell you how it is. So I think that took a toll on him. It had to take a heavy toll on him. I'm just thinking that was one of the leading factors in him making his final decision. You know, like I said, this is something I've been thinking about for the last 30 something years, right? 30 years. It's like you never get the answers. But let me tell you the most craziest part about the whole situation. He left a note behind. He left a note behind. And on that note, it said, fuck both of y'all bitches. See you in hell. I'm like, what the hell? So I'm all these years and to this day, I'll be like, yo, who was he talking about? Me? My grandma, mind you, it was only us three staying in the house. I'm like, and I'm saying, like, my brother couldn't hate me that much. Like, I'm bro, I'm little bro. Like, now I kind of see you saying some foul shit about Graham for the way she used to talk sometimes. Like, her abuse was her words, and them words hurt a lot of people. Sometimes she says shit to me, and they hurt, even though I act like it didn't hurt, blocked it off. But really, I'm like, dang, why would you say that? So the words can hurt. But he left that note, and I always, to this day, tried to decide, like, who was he talking about? F both of y'all B's. I see y'all in hell. That was the letter that he left. So I tried to do me a little homework on pieces of his life that I wasn't really in tune with, like his personal life. Was he dating somebody? Was it a... Then I came to find out it was a girl he was messing with. I didn't know about this girl. I never saw her or nothing like that. So I don't know. Was it her he was referring to? Like, because how would she have ever got the message, right? from the letter, unless one of us knew exactly who he was referring to and told her about it, right? So I don't know. It was just crazy. But he left that letter behind and said, "F both of y'all bees. I see y'all in hell." And I think about that letter to this day. I was like, damn, bro had a lot going on. I wish I'd have known that it was that serious. You know, and I'm young, so I'm trying to figure stuff out myself. My communication skills wasn't up to par as they are today. My mind and brain wasn't fully developed to have those type of grown folk conversations with my bigger brother. That was the farthest thing from my mind was communication. Because I used to be honest, I used to be one of them little quiet dudes. Now they say you gotta watch the quiet one. They just want to get you. To the day, that's how I play. I don't be all in the mix. All rah 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 rah. No 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 no. Right? But I always wondered about that letter. I always wondered about who was he referring to. But that day, man, I'm trying to tell you, it changed my life forever. And I say this to say, check on your peoples, man. Ask them how they doing, man. I'm talking about really ask them how they doing. Stop them in their tracks. Sit them down. Have a quick conversation. What's going on with you? How you feeling today? How your mentals? Is there anything you need to talk about? Is there anybody giving you any problems? Is there anything that I can help you with? Ask your folks, man. 'Cause I'm trying to tell you, you never know what's on the next person's mind, man. You never know what's on the next person's mind. So it will behoove you to inquire with your peoples, man. If you love them and care about it, check on your folks, man. Because you don't want to end up like me and not doing your due diligence and be left with this type of burden on your life. You don't want to be like that. You don't want to have to go through this crying all the time. I cried for years. I cry to this day thinking about my bro. Where would he have been today? What would he be doing? Would he have kids? Would I have nieces and nephews? Right? He got nieces from my two kids. I mean, he'll never meet. And it'd be sad. Like, damn, when I think about it. Right? And I wish I would have known how to communicate better and check up on my folks like I know how to do now. Right? And I used to beat myself up for it, especially when I given him that fire because it almost seemed like I did it, even though I didn't pull it, but I supplied it. And that messed with me for years. It made me feel like I did it. And I was fighting demons for years with that. Sometimes to this day, it's not as bad. And I don't actually feel that way no more. But at first, I was like, yo, I killed my bro. And he used to mess me up, man. I used to be hurting, man. And I had to deal with that by myself. I ain't had nobody to go cry on their shoulder or lean on. I had to figure it out by myself. I had to figure it out by myself. And I'm still dealing with it to this day. I'm going to deal with it until I die. I already know. That was a significant event in my life, a major event in my life. Check on your peoples, man. Make sure they straight, man. It'll take you 2 seconds to do that. Stop them in their tracks. Make sure they all right. Check on them. I mean, really make sure they all right. And before you leave out, depart from them. Give them a hug, man. Tell them you love them, man. Sometimes that's all we would be needing, man. Somebody to show that they care about us, man, and show us a little bit of love. That'd be all we need. Sometimes it'd be the littlest stuff. $1 million and all that shit, that don't be meaning nothing. There's plenty of people out here with millions of dollars that's buku miserable. Buku miserable and got all the money a man could want, right? And all they need is somebody to really give them a hug and tell them that they love them, man, and they appreciate them, right? That shit goes a long way, man. Check up on your peoples, man. Make sure they cool, man. You don't want to end up like me, man, regretting that shit for years and years and years over something that could have been avoidable, you know? I was out there young slinging them things at a young age, man. I always had them. I always had them. And he knew that. And sometimes I feel like he exploited me for that reason. Like, damn, bro. I mean, you knew what you had going on, right? In your head and stuff. But why would you want to use me as a pawn for that? Like, you should, y'all get what I'm saying? Like, why would you, like, you could have got that from somewhere else. Why'd you get it from me? Because I'm little bro and I had it readily available, probably. But damn, I wish you would just, if that was you, you know what I mean? If your ultimate out, I wish you would have got it from somewhere else. Would it still have hurt the same? Probably so. Probably so. Probably slow. But I was just thinking about that, and I think about that all the time, man. And I be seeing people be arguing with their peers and stuff like that, their siblings, and beefing about dumb shit. And I always be thinking about myself, like, yo, they don't even know how good they got it to have, you know what I'm saying, they brother or they sister in their life, man. Because if they hit a day tomorrow, they're gonna be hurting. Trust me, I know. When I be seeing people beefing with their siblings and stuff, I be like, yo, these tripping. Sometimes I even get jealous when I see people, you know what I mean, just with their siblings, two brothers together or whatever. I be jealous, like, damn, man, I used to have a brother, man. That's how we supposed to be, but it's not the way the cards was dealt for me, you know? Just wanted to share that with y'all, man. Be kind. Check on your folks, man. Tell them you love them. Give them a big old hug, man. Because that can be the difference of life and death. I'll catch y'all on the next one, man. Peace.